I turned my head slightly, catching sight of Jennifer standing across the room. She was biting her lip, frustration clear in her eyes as she watched us. I raised an eyebrow at her and let loose a small smile. Jennifer approached us with a glass of wine in hand. "Nicole, can I apologize to you? I didn't mean to sit in Seb's car. And I certainly didn't mean to take your seat. It's just that my car broke down." I glanced at Sebastian. He looked nervous, as if bracing himself for the storm he feared I might unleash. My parents were nearby, and I could tell he was dreading the possibility of a public scene, something he'd have difficulty controlling. But in that moment, something inside me shifted and cooled. What was the point of fighting over this now? I smiled, taking the glass from Jennifer's hand and downing it in one smooth motion. "It's fine. There's no need to apologize." The relief on Sebastian's face was way too obvious. He ran a hand through his hair. "See? I told you. Nicole isn't the kind of person to hold on to small matters like this." I nodded, handing the empty glass back to Jennifer. "As for the front seat, anyone who wants it can have it. It doesn't concern me anymore." I didn't wait for their response, just turned and started to walk away. Sebastian quickly grabbed my arm, his grip tight. "What are you saying?" I pried his hand off. "I'm saying you, Sebastian, don't matter to me anymore. I don't want you anymore." His face darkened. "Nicole, stop being unreasonable. Not everyone will tolerate your temper. Your little game of playing hard to get doesn't work on me. Jennifer has already apologized. What more do you want?" I didn't even spare him a glance. I moved faster, putting more distance between us. Jennifer's apology meant nothing to me. It was worthless. I was Nicole Roberts, the cherished daughter of the Roberts family. Why should I endure the humiliation of putting up with Sebastian? These past few years, the Greys may have thrived, but he foolishly believed that he had secured his place in the city's upper echelons on his own. What a short-sighted fool. Without the Roberts family's backing, the Greys, which should have fallen into obscurity decades ago, wouldn't even be a footnote in the social circles he so desperately wanted to impress. I wasn't surprised when some of the older family friends began to distance themselves from Sebastian once they realized I was no longer by his side. It didn't take him long to notice the shift in their attitudes. Soon enough, he shook off Jennifer and found me in a quiet corner. His face softened into a false tenderness. "Honey, why are you hiding here? I've been looking all over for you. Still upset? Fine, next time no one will ride in my car but you, okay?" I frowned, irritated that he had come to disrupt my peace. I looked up at him and said, "Sebastian, do you not understand plain speech? I don't care who sits in your car. Why are you clinging to me at this banquet? Don't you have anything better to do? Can you just grow up? Stop bothering me." In the past, when Sebastian took me to banquets, I'd sometimes cling to him, asking if we could get something to eat together or step out onto the terrace for some air. His response was always the same. "Everyone's here. Why do you have so many requests? Can't you just be by yourself for a while? When you're constantly hanging on to me, I can't get anything done. Can't you be a little more mature?" The familiarity of his words hit him just as hard as it did me. Sebastian froze, momentarily stunned. I didn't wait for him to recover. Grabbing a glass of my favorite ice wine, I slipped away to the terrace for some fresh air. I sat there, hidden behind a flowering tree, drinking alone and savoring the solitude. I was content until I heard voices approaching. The speakers didn't notice me. After all, who would expect someone to be seated behind the thick cover of branches? "Hey, did you notice? Seb came with Jennifer today and Nicole arrived on her own. Everyone knows about his relationship with Jennifer, but he's being a little too bold, isn't he? He's not even bothering to show respect to the Roberts family." "Yeah, remember Jennifer's birthday? After Nicole left, the two of them were kissing like there was no tomorrow. I heard they spent the night together. What if Nicole finds out? Seb already made sure no one who was there that night will say a word. He prepped everyone in advance. By the way, did you notice? When we were eating just now, Jennifer couldn't stomach the milk pudding. My cousin saw her at the obstetrics department a few days ago. Do you think she might be pregnant? Sure, you talk too much. Let's get out of here." I tilted my head back, finishing the glass in one bitter gulp. The one sweet ice wine that had always brought me comfort now tasted sour, unbearable. A tear slipped down my cheek, and I let it fall. Sebastian and I had been married for 5 years. I always knew he was pining for someone else. But I thought with time with our marriage, he would let go after all. He had always been so good to me, gentle, attentive, and by all appearances deeply devoted. Everyone believed he adored me beyond reason. Yet ever since Jennifer came back, his heart had been unsettled. Years ago, when the Kingsley family's business collapsed, Jennifer had left for abroad, seeking refuge with relatives. She lost contact with Sebastian, or so I had thought. But a year ago, Jennifer returned, and since then, Seb's affections to her had become more and more blatant. I still remember that evening a group of his friends gathered to welcome her back. By the time I arrived, they had already taken their seats. Jennifer was sitting in what had always been my seat, right beside Sebastian. When I walked in, his friends called out to me, "Nicole's here. Come join us." Then, realizing Jennifer had taken my spot, they tried to smooth things over by saying, "You can sit here, it's the same." They pointed to the seat next to Jennifer. Jennifer stood up, feigning innocence. "Oh, you must be Nicole. I'm so sorry, I just sat down to chat and forgot. Did I take your seat? Let's switch." Sebastian glanced at her, then at me dismissively. "It's fine. It's just a meal. Don't make a fuss." When the food was served, a plate of steamed fish arrived. Sebastian reached for the tenderest part of the fish's belly, carefully removing the bones, and placed it on Jennifer's plate. "This was always your favorite, wasn't it? You must have missed it while you were abroad." Jennifer smiled, a soft laugh escaping her lips as she took a bite. "I did. The whole time I was away, I dreamed of this dish." Sebastian seemed to finally realize I was sitting next to him. After giving the fish to Jennifer, he picked up a piece and offered it to me. That I had covered my plate with my hand, refusing him. "I don't eat fish." His face stiffened with embarrassment when he realized his mistake. He awkwardly set the piece on his own plate. He then tried to offer me some beef instead, but I only shook my head. "I'm allergic to beef. Just focus on taking care of Jennifer. I can manage myself." Jennifer chimed in gently. "Nicole doesn't like fish? How do you two manage meals at home?" Seb always insisted on having fish at every meal. "If you don't eat fish, how do you even eat together?" Her tone made my skin crawl. I let out a cold laugh, unable to hold back. "Is the table at your house too small to accommodate a few extra dishes?" She bit her lip and lowered her head, feigning the look of a wronged woman. Sebastian immediately put his fork down and said sternly, "Nicole, don't be mean." Later, when I went to the restroom, I returned only to stumble upon Sebastian comforting Jennifer in a quiet corner. "It seems she had come out to touch up her makeup," Sebastian said. "Stop crying. Nicole is just spoiled, but you don't have to see her anymore." Jennifer replied, "I know my family isn't what it used to be, but what Nicole said, it really hurt me." As he looked at her crying, Sebastian's heart seemed to ache for her. He couldn't help but pull her into his arms. "Don't cry, Jen. As long as I'm here, I won't let you shed another tear." I froze in place, hidden from view, but my heart shattered in that moment. It was then that I finally realized how much Jennifer meant to Sebastian, far more than I had ever suspected. Even as I held on to some foolish hope, believing that because he had married me, he wouldn't betray our relationship for some long-lost teenage crush, the truth had become all too clear. This so-called untouchable, pure love from his youth was an undefeated force. I lost. I admit defeat. I returned to the banquet, my head light with the ice wine I had downed on the terrace. Half drunk, I searched for Sebastian. He was standing with Jennifer again, but when he saw me, he hurried over, leaving her behind to support me. His voice was soft and full of concern. "Why did you drink so much?" Our friends around us laughed. "Look at you two, still acting like newlyweds after all these years." I shook off his hand, but he stepped forward again, slipping off his jacket and draping it over my shoulders. "Why are you dressed so lightly? Aren't you cold? If you catch a cold, it'll hurt me to see you suffer." I pulled off his jacket and threw it back at him. "This jacket would be better suited for a pregnant woman, don't you think?" I sneered. "Congratulations, Sebastian. You're going to be a father." His face instantly drained of color. "What did you just say?"